The issue with this car is it has an EGR trouble code. It's a P1406, and this is a linear type EGR valve. There's no vacuum controls to it. So it's 5-wire. The 2 outer wires are for the solenoid. The 3 middle wires are a potentiometer or valve position. This percentage is based off this voltage. Right away we see a problem. This voltage should be around a 1/2 volt, under 1 volt, say between a 1/2 volt and 1 volt with closed valve. And we've done a few of these in the past. I think they were like 0.6, 0.7 maybe, closed valve position. So we have an issue here right away. The next thing I like to do with these, depending on the year, is to bidirectionally control the valve or command the valve to open. Unfortunately, on this year, I can't do it. So we have to manually energize this valve to open it. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna open the valve, and we're gonna watch our position sensor voltage on the scan tool when we do it. And before we do the test, let me get you down on the valve and we'll talk about the solenoid. Before we manually energize this valve, we need to know if it's power or ground side switched. We can use a diagram. In this case, we're going to use a voltmeter. I have this information, section 3 in my book, transistor drivers, output solenoid. So this will be a real good review for that. And first thing I'm going to do is back probe this pink wire. We got 12 volts showing on the voltmeter on that wire. Come out here to the outer wire, so I'm on the 2 ends. And I have 12 volts on that wire too. So first thing we know is it is ground side switched. Second thing would be, how do you know which one is the ground, controlled ground, which one's the feed? It's real simple. You unplug it. So unplug the solenoid connector, and you see that outer wire dropped to basically 0 volts. Plug it back in, and it jumps up to 12. That is my control wire. I can safely ground that circuit. Now something else that's pretty cool that I don't know if I've shown before, know how to use your meter, know how to use your equipment. This is a controlled ground. I can give it a ground through my meter by very simply switching my red lead over to my amp port. I'm already connected to ground, and so what we will have is a jumper wire. An ammeter is nothing more than a jumper wire with a gauge on it. So switch this to amps. We don't need the amperage reading, but we can show it too. Move this over. See if the camera picks up that click. That's on and off. So that's energized right now. We got a reading of around 1.3 amps. That solenoid is energized right now. And over on the scan tool real quick, notice that my position voltage did not change. It's staying at 0. So now, is that valve opening? We hear it click. Is it actually opening? There's a nice test for that. What we'll do is we'll redo this test. I'm going to take this out of the amp port, close the valve, 0 amps. We're going to start the car. And when I energize this, the car should pretty much get rough and stall, telling me the valve actually opened. Go ahead, start it. So I'm giving this solenoid a ground through my ammeter. Okay, go ahead, shut it off. So what that test told me, not only is the clicking that we heard good, telling me we have control, but that yes, in fact, that valve is opening by the fact that this thing got real rough. Our focus now goes toward this position sensor. Don't forget to take your lead back out of the amp port, go back to voltage. Anytime you're done doing testing over here, you have to. Regardless of what you do up here, if you leave that over there, you still have a jumper wire in your hand, so be careful with that. Going back to DC volts, I'm gonna go my middle wire, which is my position sensor signal wire. And you see we're reading 0 volts on the voltmeter too on this signal wire. So a lot of people at this point would put an EGR valve in this. You have 0 volts on a signal wire, let's throw a valve in it. In fact, a lot of people, based on the trouble code, would throw an EGR valve in this. So this next part will be a real good review for section 7 in my book, which is potentiometers, and that's what we're dealing with here. A potentiometer has a 5 volt ref, a signal, and a ground. I'm on the signal wire. We have 0 volts here all the time. Next thing you have to do when you have no signal is check your reference, check your ground, check for opens and shorts in the signal circuit. So all I'm going to do is move my my lead down, I have a gray wire here, a black wire here in the middle. Gray wire is my reference, black wire is my ground. I'll start with the ground. Have 0 volts on that ground, that's a good ground. Less than 100 millivolts is what we want. Next thing, check the reference circuit. And now we have a problem. This reference should be 5 volts, and I'm reading 0.06. So this is what's causing this trouble code. No reference voltage, you're not gonna have a signal. We don't need an EGR valve. We have a wiring problem. So the car runs. This is a 5 volt reference. We've done other videos that deal with no 5 volt reference where a car doesn't run, shorted reference circuit. Not the case here. This car runs. It's real easy to figure out if the circuit's shorted by the simple fact the car runs, and then another one would be to check another sensor that uses the 5 volt reference. So there's another gray wire on the TPS. I'm gonna go right to that, which is right next to it. It's right here. And we're gonna back probe this TPS circuit. And you can see on my meter, I have 5 volts on my TPS. So my reference circuit isn't shorted. What we're dealing with is an open to this EVP signal, EGR valve position sensor signal. We have an open on this 5 volt reference line going to the valve. It's not a short to ground because a short to ground would pull everything down. So before we start attacking this harness and pulling everything apart, our next step is to check that same reference wire in another location at another sensor or at the computer. So we need a wiring diagram now. Okay, here's my EGR valve in this diagram. This gray wire right here is my reference. Goes to the next page, so it just comes down, there's no splices. So it comes over this way, down here, right to the computer, and it says 5 volt ref. There are no splices in that leg of this 5 volt reference circuit. Now we know for a fact that this 5 volt ref goes to other circuits. We know for sure the TPS is on it, but what's nice to know for us for this step is there are no other shared circuits. So what I don't want to do is pull this whole harness apart. I want to go at the computer now, take a measurement here. If I read 5 at this location right here, and we read 0 at our EGR here, showed you guys that one already. If we read 0 here and we read 5 here, then we have an open in the harness. Again, we're not worried about a short to ground because of symptoms and the fact that my TPS has 5. If I read 0 at the computer, then we have a computer problem. It's that simple. So we're going to the computer next, doing a voltage measurement right there. Okay, we've already identified the pin on the computer and I have it back probed. It's a gray wire here. This is our reference to our EGR. We see our same 0 volt signal. Our reference is 0 at the computer. It is also 0 at the EGR valve. Again, we're not worried about a short to ground here, guys, because if this wire was shorted to ground, it would pull the entire 5 volt reference to ground. Not the case. So what this is looking like is a bad computer. Okay, this is my other 5 volt reference circuit. This goes to the TPS, and I didn't see on the diagram that it went anywhere else. So I'm just gonna rest this against the T-pin, if I can, and get a voltage reading on this circuit. Now we already checked it externally. I just want you guys to see that. And there you go, your 5 volts to your TPS is good. Further confirming again that we don't have a short to ground on the EVP 5 volt reference circuit, because if we did, it would pull this one down too. There are not 2 separate 5 volt reference circuits. There's only one. I know externally it looks like there's 2. There's not. It's one circuit. So really at this point we only have one other option, and that would be a spread apart pin on the computer connector on this EVP circuit. It's either going to be that or it's a bad computer. So we'll check the pin real quick. All right, so we're going to check this pin, and I've had some real good questions on this, and I've mentioned how to do it. I'm going to show it. I think this is probably the first time I've shown this, but you can see the gray wire that I have back probed. It's, if you count the pins, it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 down from the top. And so when we flip this over, it's these inside holes right here, not the outside, So it'd be 7 down. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's that pin right there. That's the one we want to worry about. In fact, I'm going to mark that real quick with my pen. So that's the one in question. Is there a potential that that pin is spread apart in there? You definitely can't see it. You can't do a visual. So what we want to use, what these are is torch tip cleaners, and what they have is different size cleaning tips, and so they're all gauged differently. And what I want to do is I want to find a gauge or a cleaning tip that has a small amount of drag on these pins, and I want to do it not on the one we're worried about. I want to gauge it to one of my other ones that I know are not a problem. I'm looking for one, again, that has some drag to it, and I'm just going to pick one, I'm guessing here, and I'm going to gauge it off of one of these other ones, not the one that we're worried about.
I'm hoping it's not leaking so bad for them.
That one's actually pretty good, that first try. So I can feel some slight drag on that pin. I can check one of the other ones. I'm not forcing this in any way, shape, or form. I'm just feeling the pin drag. In fact, you can hear that. And I'll come up here, and that's the right one I want to use now. This would be the gauge to check for pin drag, and I'm going to check this one right here, the one for our EGR. And I don't know if the camera's picking that up. Same exact pin drag as these other ones. So what we know now for a fact is that we don't have a spread pin. That would be the final variable here before we call this engine computer. This needs an engine computer. Now the thing is, these GM computers, they go bad all the time, the older ones, and so I'm not really that concerned about it. In fact, this guy changed this computer, is what he told me a few months ago, for a stalling problem, which was pretty typical. So what we have inside of this board is somewhere between the 5-volt regulator and these two circuits that come out, is we have an open in this board. And you know what I can do for the rest of this video, because I don't have another computer right now, is I'm going to jump this 5-volt reference over here, which is good, to this 5-volt reference over here, which is bad, and shoot the rest of the video to show you what this EVP signal looks like with a good reference. So jumper wire, I'm just going to take, and you know, you could probably do this permanently if you wanted to. You could take this gray wire here, which is a reference, take the insulation off of it a little bit, same thing here, run a jumper between, solder it, tape it up. This is inside the car. I really wouldn't have a problem with that fix. You know, if this guy wants to do that, that's going to be up to him. It needs a computer. Jump these two together, being fully confident in what I'm doing, and I'm going to turn the key on. We'll go back under the hood and redo our checks. Back on my EVP signal wire with the multimeter. That's the middle wire on this 5-pin EGR valve. I'm reading 0.85 of a volt. That's what we want to see. On the scan tool, you see the same number. We're reading 0.8 of a volt over here. And what I can do is I'll energize the EGR valve, show you this signal over here. I'm just going to use my ammeter again. Think about it, we're using a voltmeter already. Your voltmeter ground, it's over here on the battery. Voltmeter positive is on the signal. What I want to do is be the ground for the solenoid. So move this over to the solenoid wire. And you see we're reading 12 volts. And knowing your meter, just taking this lead over here, taking it away from that very, very high resistance that's in the voltmeter, moving it to the ammeter, and no reading up here. I'm still on voltage, doesn't matter. I just connected this to ground, it clicked. You want a reading of amperage, you can move it over. Reading 1.24 amps, very high current solenoid. Get you a shot back on the scan tool, and you'll see that my EVP signal is 4.7 volts. Take this off, watch the valve close, 0.8, energize it again, watch the valve open. That is a confirmed fix. All right, so quick recap of what we've done here. We did a nice review on a GM 5-pin linear EGR, very commonly used valve. Chrysler, Honda, GM, they all use a version of it. Testing is very similar, although be careful with your polarity. Some of the newer ones will power side switch them instead of ground side switched. Don't just get in there and start jumping things to ground unless you absolutely know what you're doing. I showed you a way to identify that with a voltmeter. For more info on that, that's section 3, refer to it. Don't do this kind of procedure unless you absolutely know the polarity of that solenoid. So this one was ground side switched. Nice review of how to identify that with a voltmeter. Nice review of a potentiometer, being a 3-wire sensor. Needs a reference, ground, and a signal to function properly. We are missing our reference, and we also showed in here how to do a pin drag test on the computer and a nice review of that whole 5-volt reference circuit. So I think this was a really good one. Not just, don't look at this as a 95 Buick and how many of these are you going to see. Look at this as a fundamental, and these procedures that we've shown here apply to everything. So again, the fix here is going to be replace the engine computer, or at least jump those 2 wires together and fix it that way. I really wouldn't have a problem with it, because really that's what it's doing inside of the computer. Faulty leg of the 5-volt reference circuit.